Hello everyone, this is Chrism and I'd like to welcome you to this conversation about your Kundalini awakening experiences. In this conversation, I'd like to talk with you about Shaktipat. I've been giving Shaktipat for over 10 years. Most of it is long distance. Most of it is my Kundalini reaching over the, shall we say, perceived differences of where a person would be. Shaktipat isn't something I do. It's something that the Kundalini within me does for another person. And it's not free. It's not free. It was given freely for 10 years, over 10 years, something like 10 or 12 years. And people would come in and they would participate, sort of. Some would sign up for it, not even do it. Some would sign up for it and kind of do it. Some would sign up for it and really do it and would get the benefits from it. But after a while, it got to the point where people were really kind of not taking it seriously. Not taking it in a way where they would need to understand the importance of it, the sacred value of it. And finally, my Shakti said, no more free Shaktipat. So it is not free anymore. And to some degree, it never was. You always had to do a practice. We had the big German Shepherd just settling down behind us here, Nara. As you might know, I have plenty of animals in the house here. I have a huge dog, I have a medium-sized dog, I have a cat, and I have a crow, a rabbit, and 3 turtles. And plenty of other, shall we say, ancillary animals and insects. So it can be somewhat of a crowded household at times. So yeah, back to the Shaktipat. In some respect, it was never free. I very rarely have I just waved my hand over a person to give them Shaktipat. It's happened. I've done that, and I've seen the results of that, and that's why it's never done. I don't do it anymore. People need to earn this to some degree, in some way. They need to earn it. It's such a big step. It's such a bold new world to just introduce a person to instantaneously. Even those that when their Kundalini is ripe and it opens up within them, they can have an extremely difficult time finding the way towards stability and balance and safety and to create a new structure of living in their life with the expanded reality. And the reality it's not a finite reality. The expanded reality is infinite. And it's even infinite for us sleepers. We just tend to focus on things that we consider to be real, such as, the jar of preserves here, or, any of the other things that you have around your house, the teacup, or the iPhone, these types of things. We say, okay, yeah, that's part of the reality. I accept that. But with sudden activation of Kundalini, there is so much more. There is so much more to the reality of an individual. And so no, people have to earn the Shaktipat now. And that is not going to change. I am not going to let that change. Unless Shakti wants it to change. I, Chrism, as part of the Kundalini continuum within myself, no, people should always earn the Shaktipat. They should pay for it. through monetary means. They should pay through it, even more so through the practice of the safety protocols. If you're not doing the practice, then you shouldn't get the activation. Bottom line. If it's not worth anything to you, then you shouldn't be even involving yourself in it. If you're not willing to dance to the music, then you shouldn't even hear the music, so to speak. You know, I don't know if that's a great analogy, but yeah. I've seen the results of people with immediate Kundalini activation, and it typically is not a happy thing. Too much is coming at the individual at the same time, and a person can become very, very confused and very, very frightened, and from that fear, levels of anger and irritation and great levels of disharmony, in the person's family and friends and job, and oh my God. I did this for people back, like I said, 10, 12 years ago. I did this for people, and not going to do that. Not going to do that. The Shaktipat, let's see, Michael is asking, he says, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but can psychosis be healed energetically? Of course it can be. Psychosis, of course it can be. And I'll talk about that in another conversation, Michael. Thank you for asking that question. With the Shaktipat, the introduction into a reality that is expanded far beyond this current reality can be shocking. And divorces, job loss, an instant dark night of the soul can begin to form in a person. And the safety protocols were designed to mitigate against those types of experiences for a person. It doesn't mean that you'll never have a dark night of the soul. It just means that you'll have more information. And the more information you have about a dark night of the soul, the better that dark night becomes. It becomes less of a good versus evil type of scenario. It becomes less of a fear of loss and want of gain type of scenario. So, in other words, you don't process as much of it from an egotistic point of view. So yeah, you must do the safety protocols. If you want a Shaktipat, if you want to get into the Kundalini, and if you want the Kundalini to get into you, more importantly, you must do a specific practice if you're going to take the Shaktipat from me. Seriously. You must accept the scatter field. The scatter field is a consciousness that is extended over your equation, and it doesn't read you in the sense that Chrism's scatter field is over 5 feet over my left shoulder. What am I going to do if I'm taking a shower, going to the bathroom? It's not like I'm looking at any of that. The scatter field really is only to see and to measure your progress within the practice of the safety protocols. Seriously, that's what it's about. And then to modulate the level of Kundalini excitation that is given to you for 25 days. Okay? A certain kind of Shaktipat is given the first 9 days. Then a certain kind of Shaktipat is given you for the second level, which is for 7 days. And then another kind of Shaktipat is given to you for the last 9 days. This is 25 days of Shaktipat. And it happens. I didn't plan it this way. This is all Kundalini planning. It happens on the equinox or the solstice. And it's a very, very specific mathematical arrangements. So, if you want to partake of the Shaktipat, then you want to really sign up on time. You know, sign up before, in this case, September 11, because on September 12th, those scatter fields are going to be given, and once that time zone is given, I mean, down to the second, is when it starts. And if you're late, you're late. You're out of that continuum. You can hear the bird here. Listening to. Hi, honey. I know. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you. She's practicing flying. So it's very important for people to be on time with this. And very important. Every time I get late people showing up, it's like, you know, oh, can I do the Shaktipat? You know, here's my picture, here's my declaration, all of that. I don't need a picture, but I like to use a picture because I like people to have to lift a finger to do this. I have to, not that finger. I like people to have to add a little bit to this. It's just not, oh, I'm just going to sit down and Master Chrism give me a Shaktipat. No, no more. That used to be the case, maybe, but not anymore. And so it's important for you to understand that you're going to have to not only add in material wealth, which you can give over time. You know, it's make payments. It's got to be meaningful to you. It's got to be food for you. And when you're shopping at the grocery store, and you're shopping for bread or for milk or for fruit or for whatever it is you eat, you pay money for it because it helps you to continue to survive in this world. This has got to be as important as that. Even though it's not an everyday thing, it will be an everyday thing for 25 days. And then, if you're doing the work, for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. So pay attention to this. And of course, you know, for the rest of your life, or the rest of my life, I will be giving you assistance and instruction with this. I don't abandon people that I give Shaktipat to. They abandon me, but I won't abandon them. I'm not allowed. That's part of the deal. They can abandon me as much as they want, and of course this has happened. You know, and to some degree I can see she's showing me right now, it's like what parents... Excuse me, doing a video here. Thank you. It's like what parents go through when the child leaves the house. People got to have their freedom with this. They got to move to the beat of their own grace. They don't, you know, you don't need to be, bonded to the teacher in that way. Now, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. For those of you that have a stronger process, well, you're going to need to be bonded longer for the rest of the life in many ways. And these people are not so much students as they are chela. The chelas, you know, these are like people that are being trained to be a teacher, to carry on the signature of the teaching. And so for those folks, yeah. And I'd like to say hello back to Michelle Ranger. Hello, good to see you. So within the Shaktipat, you do the work and you surrender whatever material aspect of it you have to surrender. That's part of the rules now, the new rules, right? And this is just something you're going to have to do. It's going to have to be worth it to you. It's going to have to be important to you. Important enough to make these changes and to give of that wealth and to give of that expression. And by expression, I mean, practice of the safeties, doing all of the safeties, all of them, especially the behaviorals, the forgiveness, the compassion, the selfless service, the honesty, the truth, okay? Giving the love as much as you can. This has to occur in an active sense, not just like, oh, I thought about giving love the other day. Yeah, I passed, I saw a guy walking, and he was talking to the air, so I gave him some love. Give him a drink of water. Bring it into the physical. You want energy to come and to ignite itself within you, within your physical body. Well, so you go ahead and you do some physical actions that represent the quality of love that you want to have, excited within your physical being. Okay? You do the forgiveness and you give the compassion and you represent the honesty and the truth beyond social barriers, which can be dangerous, believe me. Be careful with that. As much as you can, follow the rules of the road, but there will be times when Shakti pushes you off the road, and now you're not on the road. Now you're in a different kind of path. So there you have it. The Shaktipat is, as I mentioned, it is 25 days long. I am with you. I am with you. And then after the Shaktipat, that's where you see where you're standing with it. How much of yourself did you give into this? How much practice did you give into this? How honest are you being with this? If you don't feel anything and you don't think you've got anything, do you feel like you lost? Do you feel like this was all just another waste of time? That old Chrism, he's just a fraudulent fraudster, a bad guru, as they say. And they do say that. So read the words, watch this video, see how you feel. I've got a Shaktipat that is coming up, the Autumnal Shaktipat 2019. Okay? That's coming up. Right now it's August 23rd or 24th. 24. Okay. If you're interested, follow through with interest, not just casual interest, sincere interest. I want everybody who does the Shaktipat to receive as much Kundalini as they possibly can hold. And that's different for every person. I do not want to blow your head off. I want you to be able to have this and to be stabilized within this. Okay? So you practice those safeties. You read the writings that are given on the Kundalini Awakening exclamation group or any of the other groups. Kundalini Awakening Systems 1, Kundalini Awakening Systems 2, Kundalini Awakening Systems 3, Kundalini People. These are all groups that are related to me, to the teachings that I give. So please, pay attention to this. This is your golden ticket, but you're going to have to earn it. And you should. You should. Make it count. I want you to own this. I want you to own your own grace and let your own grace own you. Thanks for watching.